Welcome to this episode of Sports Paws. The field hockey team looked hot going into the MAC playoffs. How would they fare?
We have Maria Napolitano, a senior on the women's basketball team, live in the studio to discuss the upcoming season.
And the men's basketball team added freshman twins to their roster. Hannah Cotter will get you their story on Meet the Bobcats.
Q30's own Andrew Badillo ranks the fall sports teams as their seasons come to an end. See which teams he thought were most impressive. All that and more on this week's episode of Sports Paws. Welcome to this week's episode of Sports Paws. I'm Sierra Goodwill.
And I'm Carolyn Fales. Sierra, it's tough to choose where to start here. Men's hockey had its best start in Division I program history.
But don't count out fall sports just yet, Carolyn, as the field hockey team moved on to the MAC playoffs. Becca Maine's squad entered the tournament at the number 2 seed. After traveling to New Jersey, the Bobcats faced off against Ryder on Friday for the quarterfinal matchup. Let's jump right into the highlight now here. Field hockey against Ryder in the MAC semifinals, first half. Ryder gets the first chance offensively here. Shannon Hughes scores off the corner to put Ryder the early lead 1-0 just minutes into the game. Quinnipiac will have their chance offensively now on the penalty corner. Good ball movement here. They get it over to the side to Megan McCullough. She sends it over to Angie King, wide open, bangs one home past the Ryder goalie. Quinnipiac ties it 1-1. Still in the first half now, Ryder with multiple offensive opportunities here. Lots of shots on goal. Megan Conaboy holds strong in the net, save after save. Carolyn, they're going to miss her next year.
Definitely, Sierra.
Tied 1-1 at halftime. Moving on to the second half now, Quinnipiac's Felicia Costanza has a shot, but the Ryder goalie says no. Luckily, Savannah Riley's there to clean up the mess. Quinnipiac goes up 2-1. Still in the second half now, Ryder's Rachel Ippolite with a shot gets a crazy deflection off her teammate Angie Price, trips up Megan Conaboy. Ryder ties it 2-2. Late in the second half now, only 3 minutes left in the game. Rachel Ippolite gets another chance here, except this time her shot will go wide. Now we go into the last play of regulation. Quinnipiac with the penalty corner. Great ball movement. They find Savannah Riley, and she will find the back of the net with no time left. Quinnipiac advanced to the MAC championships after this win against Ryder 3-2.
All right, Sierra, so taking it right to our Fairfield highlight after that exciting finish with Ryder in the semifinals, Quinnipiac taking on the Fairfield Stags. Fairfield, the number 4 seed coming into the tournament, so Quinnipiac huddling up before the game. We'll see how they do. 2 minutes into the first half, Fairfield's Ruth Smallbrook beats Megan Conaboy. She's out of net. She'll get it to the back of the goal. Fairfield takes the 1-0 lead. Later in the first half, Ann Burgoyne tries to make the same kind of play with Megan Conaboy out of net. She will shoot wide. Fairfield still leading 1-0. Later in the first half, a quick play there. Julia DePoe, she's the MAC Player of the Year. She gets a goal off a corner. Fairfield leads 2-0. In the second half, after a timeout, Lily Shimo Jr., she has a shot, but it is blocked by Fairfield and they clear it out of the zone. Similar story, Angie King fires the bullet in, but it won't go into the back of the goal. So Fairfield still leading 2-0. Later in the second half, Fairfield on a penalty corner. It's stopped by Angie King, so Fairfield still having that lead. Quinnipiac trying to make something happen. Megan Astonich takes a shot, but it's blocked and cleared. Fairfield will win this one 2-0 with the time running out. Big day for their goalie, Caitlin Bennett. Fairfield moving on to the NCAA tournament where they will face Boston University.
You know, we're typically known for coming back from being down, and I thought there was some really nice surges for us, some really nice opportunities. Fairfield has a very steady attack, a great attack. I mean, they can get a couple looks at the cage and usually have an opportunity to put it in, which they did do today. So I'm pleased with the surges. Obviously, the finish wasn't there, and I think sometimes when you're used to coming back, which 4 or 5 games you come back from 1 or 2 goal deficit, you know you can. The ability there is to kind of keep pushing and surging and waiting for it to happen. I think that waiting for it to happen waited a little bit too long for us.
After field hockey's loss to Fairfield, Q30's John Franklin and Matt Corso broke down the playoff weekend. Guys?
I'm John Franklin here alongside Matt Corso, and Matt, Quinnipiac suffers a loss today at the hands of the Fairfield Stags 2-0 in the MAC championship game. Early on in the game, 1 minute 50 seconds in, Quinnipiac lets up a goal. Take us through it. What happened?
Fairfield came out firing from the start. They were just playing quicker, faster, and more aggressive. and it showed right there. Quinnipiac had a defensive breakdown in the middle of the defensive zone, open player, easy goal.
Now, Matt, moving forward later in the first half, Fairfield nets another goal to go up 2-0. What was your feeling going into the second half, considering Quinnipiac has been a second half team this entire season?
Like you said, they've been a second half team. They've outscored opponents 15-5 in the second half this year. I thought they were alive. They were definitely dictating the pace of play after Fairfield scored 2 goals. I definitely thought they had it in them, but they just fell a little too short.
Now, Matt, what would you say was the key to today's game as far as Quinnipiac losing to the Stags?
What was surprising to me is they had 12 shots to the Fairfield Stags 10 shots. Now, that's not even the best part of this. They had 8 penalty corners to the Stags 4. They just couldn't connect on any of the penalty corners. Megan McCullough did a great job of getting the ball in, but the players around the arc just couldn't get the ball to the net. Shots were getting blocked. Big credit and kudos to the Fairfield Stags defensive penalty kill unit.
Now, Matt, Becca Main brought it up in the post-game interview that she's losing some four key seniors. What do you think the team's going to have to do moving forward? What leadership is going to have to step in order to get back here next year and ultimately win this game?
Well, I definitely think they can make it back here next year. Every good team loses players. That's just how it goes in sports. You know, you have a lot of players returning though. Angie King, defensive killer. Savannah Riley with a couple goals, late game heroics in the end of the season to get them to this championship game. I definitely think that Angie King has the leadership qualities to really coach up the younger players and put them in the spot to be back at this game next year.
Matt, thanks so much for the insight. Once again, Quinnipiac loses 2-0 at the hands of the Fairfield Stags.
The MAC gave out their annual awards for the regular season, and Quinnipiac came away with 4. Becca Main won Coach of the Year after leading her team to a 5-1 finish in the conference, ending the year with a 9-11 overall record. Midfielder Megan McCullough and defenseman Megan Osanich were both named to the All-MAC first team. Angie King made the All-MAC second team.
And another fall team got their chance for glory as the men's soccer team traveled to Florida for postseason play. Quinnipiac was the number 10 seed going into the weekend and took on number 7 seeded Canisius in the first round. Max Rothenbucher scored the lone goal for the Bobcats in the first half. The Golden Griffins wouldn't be able to come back, and the Bobcats would move on to play the Rider Broncs in the quarterfinal game. After a scoreless first half, the Broncs took control, scoring 3 times to put an end to the Bobcat postseason run. With fall sports winding down, let's take a look at men's ice hockey's weekend. So we'll start off here with men's hockey taking on Colgate at Star Rink. So Colgate, the Raiders, an ECAC foe. We'll see if Quinnipiac could keep their win streak. About 10 minutes into the first period, a minute 15 on the power play here. Not the greatest thing for Quinnipiac, the power play, but Tyson Spink gets control. He tries to put it in past Gartig. Gartig says, no, not today. Score remains at 0. About 7 minutes later, with 2:30 left in the period, banter in the back of the net between Janssen and a Colgate player. Janssen will get it to Aldworth. Aldworth to Tim Clifton. Clifton will put it in to give Quinnipiac the 1-0 lead. With about 7 minutes into the second period, Travis St. Dennis would take it down the ice. He'd give it to Landon Smith. Smith to Annis. Annis would get it in to give Quinnipiac the 2-0 lead. And then about 5 minutes later, Colgate's Evan Peterson would get it to Sebastian Weberg. He would take it down the ice to Weberg. He would get it in past Michael Gartig. And then 26 seconds later, Colgate on fire here on a breakaway by Tim Harrison. He would score, giving Colgate the tie 2-2. So Quinnipiac looking to come back and get something to break this tie. About 5 minutes into the third period, sophomore defenseman Kevin McKiernan would get control of the puck in the zone and put it in past the Colgate goalie. Quinnipiac would win this one 3-2.
Quinnipiac faced off against Cornell at Line of Rink on Saturday night. Just seconds into the game, freshman Thomas Aldworth gets a 5-minute major and game misconduct for a hit from behind. He's out of the game. You see Cornell take advantage of that here. Matt Buckles sends it to Reese Wilcox for their first power play goal of the game. Michael Gartig just couldn't stop that one. Cornell's at an early 1-0 lead. Just 44 seconds later, still on the 5-minute major, Christian Hillbrook sends it over Jake Wiedner. Cornell's up 2-0. Cornell back on the power play here. Jake Wiedner finds Matt Buckles, Cornell's third power play goal of the first period. This time, Quinnipiac on the power play. Tim Clifton finds the back of the net, puts the Bobcats on the board. Travis St. Dennis here with a breakaway, except Cornell's goalie says, no, we will go into the second period 3-1. 9 minutes into the second period now, Gartig lets off a rebound and Mitch Vanderlyn takes advantage of it. Cornell 4-1. A minute and a half later, after a review of play, it will be determined that this is a goal by Travis St. Dennis. Sam Annis picks up the assist on this one. Quinnipiac goes back on the board. It is 4-2 Cornell. Just 40 seconds after that, Scott Davidson sends it up to Andrew Tavener. He'll score. The Bobcats are getting back in it. It's 4-3. A minute and a half left now in the second period. Chase Prisky finds Andrew Tavener again. The Bobcats tie it up. It's 4-4. Third period now, Michael Gartig makes a great split save on Cornell's Ryan Bliss. We are headed to overtime. A minute and a half into the overtime, Quinnipiac on the power play, great puck movement. Andrew Tavener finds Connor Clifton. He shoots, he scores. That's the game winner. Tavener with 4 points in this game. Quinnipiac wins 5-4 in overtime.
The weekly USCHO poll was released today. Quinnipiac men's hockey moved up 1 spot to number 4. The top 3 spots went to Providence College, Boston College, and North Dakota, respectively. 2 other ECAC teams made the list as well, with Harvard coming in at number 7 and Yale at the 10th spot. Rand Pecknold's team will take on both Harvard and Dartmouth this weekend. The Bobcats are the lone team in the NCAA without a loss or a tie.
When we come back, Q30's Josh Silverman sits down with women's basketball player Maria Napolitano to talk about her expectations for the upcoming season.
And the women's ice hockey team had 2 conference matchups this weekend. How did they do? Stick with us and you'll find out.
Welcome to A Sheer Sensation, North Haven's premier cosmetology service, located at 140 Washington Avenue, minutes from Hamden. We offer an array of services from basic cuts and colors to lash extensions and formaldehyde-free keratin treatments. We also provide hair chalk and styling for men. When you spend $60, your Q card will get you 10% off. Call us at 203-239-6477 to make your next appointment at A Sheer Sensation.
Welcome to Joya Spa and Salon in Hamden. Whether you want a new look or the perfect wedding day hair, come to us for complete hair and nail care, cuts, styles, updos, extensions, and beautiful dimensional hair color, as well as manis and pedis, acrylics, gels, and shellac. Treat yourself to a facial, a peel, or microdermabrasion. Relax with a variety of massage techniques, including Swedish and hot stone massage. Joya Spa and Salon. Call today.
My name is Doug Thoreau. For nearly 90 years, 3 generations of my family have been providing the highest quality repair service. Insurance companies will refer car owners to lesser quality shops to save money. At Thoreau Auto Body, we provide the highest quality repairs with a lifetime guarantee to maintain the safety and value of your car. That's the quality you deserve. Thoreau Auto Body. Our best work goes unnoticed.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. The women's basketball MAC preseason poll was released, and Quinnipiac is seated at number 3 and received 2 first-place votes. Marist is ranked at number 2. The Bobcats defeated the Red Foxes last season 3 times, one of those being in the MAC championship to advance them to the NCAA tournament. Quinnipiac ended last season with a 31-4 overall record. Trisha Fabry's squad is looking to carry over that success into this season. And now we have Q30 Sports' Josh Silverman sitting by with senior guard Maria Napolitano.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm sitting here with Quinnipiac women's basketball captain and senior Maria Napolitano. Maria, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
How has it been taking on the role of being a leader and a captain?
Last year I had to step up to be a leader of what they call the goal rush. So I got pretty comfortable leading that group, and this year it's just been, magnified to lead the whole team. So I'm pretty comfortable in it.
And how has your team chemistry been in practice, and how do you think that will translate to play on the court?
Our team chemistry has been very good. Off the court we're a very close team. So on the court we get along very well, but it's getting used to playing together and knowing how each other plays, and I think that's just going to be an adjustment we have to make throughout the season.
And Quinnipiac graduated 6 seniors last year. How have the younger players stepped up into playing more minutes?
I think they've done a great job. They know we all know that we have to fill roles, and I think we're all ready to fill those roles and to get ready to accomplish what we want to this year.
What experience did you gain, and what did you learn from playing behind former Quinnipiac players Brew Abshire and Jasmine Martin?
They obviously were excellent players and great leaders. So they just taught me how to have confidence and how to lead my group, especially last year. They helped me a lot.
And you were MAC six-woman player of the year last year. Do you have any personal goals for this upcoming season?
Truthfully, just our team goal is to always win the MAC championship, and that's the only thing I'm really focused on.
And what do you think is the biggest challenge in defending that MAC championship this year?
Just getting ready to play every single game against every opponent. So.
Okay, and so obviously you have a lot of young talent. Have you had to mentor them, or have they kind of stepped up into that role?
They're doing a great job, but I've also made sure to let them know that I'm here for them and help them out on our core values so they know what is expected of them so they can fill those roles.
All right, thank you so much, Maria.
Thanks.
Back to Sierra and Carolyn at the desk.
Thanks, Josh. While the men's ice hockey team played Colgate and Cornell away, the women's team faced the two ECAC foes here in Hampton. On Friday night, the Bobcats took on Colgate in what resulted in a 0-0 tie. Quinnipiac outshot its opponent 44-22. Colgate goalie Ashlyn Rando was impressive in the net all game. Quinnipiac goalie Sydney Rossman had a couple key saves late in the third period to keep the teams knotted at 0. Let's see what head coach Cassandra Turner had to say after the game.
The ECAC is a great hockey league. I think day in and day out, you never know what's going to happen, and what you can expect, though, is a battle every time, and I think Colgate did that today. We really worked to get a number of opportunities, and I thought we controlled the play. We had our chances, and we just need to find ways to be a little bit better in the finer details to capitalize on those chances. But they fought hard, and it was a good hockey game.
After the tie against Colgate, Quinnipiac would move on to face the Cornell Big Red, another ECAC foe. We'll start early in the first period where Emma Woods takes a shot on Paula Voorhees. It doesn't go in, no score early on. About 7 minutes into the first period, Caitlin Doring passes to Hannah Button, who backhands it in for a goal. Cornell takes the 1-0 lead. Later on in the first period, goalie Sydney Rossman faces a tough one on a shot from Christian Hingham, but she says no, not today. Cornell still has the 1-0 lead. Now watch this next play here. Halfway through the second period, Nicole Costa steals the puck and takes it down the ice. Takes the puck and absolutely rips one bar down. Quinnipiac ties the game 1-1. About 2 minutes later, Megan Turner takes a shot and it goes off of Paula Voorhees' leg pad. They'll get the goal for that. Quinnipiac now leads 2-1. Then 3 minutes later, Quinnipiac on an absolute tear. Emma Woods passes to TT Cianfrano. She gets the goal. Quinnipiac now leading 3-1. So Cornell trying to make something happen at the beginning of the third period. Jess Brown gets absolutely denied by Sydney Rossman, and the puck is cleared out by the defense. Later on in the third, Hannah Button has a shot blocked by QU defender Kristen Tamberg. Quinnipiac would win this one 3-1. Here's head coach Cass Turner after the game.
I think we have to be happy with our effort today, the way we responded from yesterday. We really asked our seniors to bring more today, and every single one of them, I thought, brought what they can bring in their own way, within their own skill set, within their own role, and all of their play was important, and I think it was huge in terms of our win today. So we're happy and we're excited to move forward with this win.
The women's hockey USCHO poll was released on Monday. Quinnipiac fell one spot from number 7 to number 8 after a scoreless tie with unranked Colgate on Friday and a 3-1 win over Cornell on Saturday. Wisconsin remains seated at number 1 after a dominant weekend sweep over Minnesota State, outscoring its opponent 13-0 over the 2-game series. The Bobcats take on 10th-seeded Princeton in a home-and-home series this weekend.
Coming up next on Sports Paws, Hannah Cotter sits down with basketball twins Aaron and Andrew Robinson.
And we've got your top 5 plays of the fall sports season. Who made the cut? We'll find out.
Laser Medica Derma Centers is a new philosophy in skincare for all ages. We are dedicated to offering the most technologically advanced and least invasive skincare treatments. Show your Q card and receive 20% off any procedure. We also provide microdermabrasion and Botox treatments, all performed in a relaxing spa environment. We are conveniently located at 52 Washington Avenue in North Haven, just down the street from Quinnipiac's North Haven campus. Call to schedule a free consultation and find out how Laser Medica can give you smooth, sexy skin all year long.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Sarah, we probably should have renamed Meet the Bobcats this week to Meet the Robinsons. Aaron and Andrew are freshman twins on the basketball team. Q30 Sports' Hannah Cotter finds out their story.
I'm here with twins on the basketball team, Andrew and Aaron Robinson. Hey guys, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So fundamentally, you two do almost everything together. You're on the same high school team, you went to the same prep school, and now you're at Quinnipiac, both majoring in broadcasting. What made you two decide to stay together?
So, ever since we were young, our mom told us to stay together. Yeah, I would say like it's been something we just got used to over our whole life. You know, like go to elementary school together, we played all the same sports, soccer, football, track. We went to the same middle school and same high school, played on the same AAU team. Like, so we never really knew what it was like to be apart. You know, like everywhere we go out in public, we're always together. So that, like being apart was just something that was just real different. And like we was like, may as well try to stay together if we can. So keep it going.
So you just said that you played a lot of different sports in your youth. What made you focus in on basketball?
Well, I mean, our older brother played basketball at Syracuse. He was the point guard when they won the national championship with Carmelo Anthony. And we used to always watch his games when we were younger. And so ever since a young age, I was like, well, I want to be like him when I grew up. I want to play basketball. I played college basketball. So I always knew I wanted to play basketball. Everything else was just kind of like on the side.
So would you say that your brother is one of your biggest influences?
Yeah, for sure. He is. Like, I went number 14 just like he did.
So you guys are obviously very family-oriented, and you have a lot of similarities both on and off the court. How does your chemistry affect your game?
I think our chemistry is a big part of our game because, like, we feed off of each other. Like, if I'm not having a good day, I can always know that he's going to be there to pick me up, or vice versa. And I know that, like, I always know where he's going to be on the court, what kind of shots he likes to take, and things like that. So it helps us because we've been playing together for so long. So, like, we just develop habits that just, like, now it's like second nature.
So you guys obviously have a lot of similarities in that sense. What would each of you say is the biggest difference between you two?
Personality-wise, like basketball-wise?
Just in general.
Well.
Or we could do both.
Yeah, well, basketball-wise, I'd probably say he's probably like a better ball handler than me, but I'm probably like a more athletic type of player. So that's probably basketball-wise. But personality-wise, I feel like we're both like real goofy and like to make jokes and like have fun and stuff. But I would say he's the more like extreme one. Like he really don't he don't have no filter. Like I'm the clown. Yeah, I might think about something before I say it. Like he's just gonna say whatever he wants to say and that's it. So that's probably I would say the biggest difference.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching this twin dynamic on the court, but I can't help but notice you guys are so similar, but your haircuts are drastically different. Do you care to comment on that?
Well, I mean, when we were in middle school, actually, our AAU coach, ever since we were young, I mean, in elementary school, we used to fight all the time. So our mom started buying the exact same clothes. She would buy 2 of everything so you want to fight. She would buy like 2 red shirts, 2 blue jeans, 2 white socks, 2 pairs of shoes so you want to fight. So we were always dressed the same, we had the same haircuts. So it got to a point where people couldn't tell us apart. Even our own basketball coach would be on the bench, you'd be like looking like, oh, which one do I put in the game? He couldn't tell us apart. He was like, you're going to have to do something to be able to tell us apart because I can't. So from then on, he was like, one of y'all has to have long hair, one of y'all has to have short hair. I don't care which one it is. One of y'all has to have long hair, one of y'all has to have short hair. So first off, I started off having long hair. He started having short hair. And then we switched. Actually, he lost the bet, and he had to go bald. Ever since then, he never cut his hair again. He started growing dreads. So then, I was going for life. That's how it happened. So.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I'm looking forward to the season.
No problem. No problem.
The women's rugby team had their final game of the regular season against Westchester. Sophomore Alona Marr tied a school record with 6 assists while also tallying 25 points and 6 runs. It's pretty safe to say the Bobcats dominated with a final score of 100-10. The win boosts Becky Carlson's team to a 6-1 record in the NCVWRA. They will face off against Westchester again next weekend in the quarterfinals.
The women's volleyball team started off the week with an out-of-conference matchup against the Hartford Hawks on Wednesday. Coming into the game, Hartford was winless with a record of 0-24. The Bobcats took the first set 25-22, but lost the next 3 all within 6 points to give the Hawks their first win. On Saturday, Quinnipiac played Ryder, where they would go on to lose 3-1. It was a similar story on Sunday when they played St. Peter's in another MAC matchup and fell 3-1 yet again. The team winds down their season at home this Saturday and Sunday, where they will face Iona and Manhattan. And now let's see how Andrew Badillo ranked the fall sports teams as their seasons come to an end.
All right, thanks a lot, guys, and let's jump right on into it. My top 5 teams of the fall semester. It was an action-packed semester. My 5th ranked team is going to be the women's soccer team. It had a very, very good bounce-back year. Last year, it was a struggle for the team. Freshman Nadia Gill came in, won MAC Rookie of the Year. She tallied 19 points to lead the team, 8 goals, along with 3 assists. The last year, the conference record was 2-7-1. They saw tremendous improvement, fell short in the last game of the season. The team got knocked out of contention for the MAC tournament in the final game of the season against Siena, suffering a loss. Moving along to my 4th ranked team, it's going to be the women's golf team, and they also saw tremendous improvement from last year. Freshman Luciana Tobia tied a program record with a 2 under 70 in the second round of the Dartmouth Invitational. They had contributions all along the board. Nicole Scola also had a very successful year for the Bobcats. Now we're going to move along to my 3rd ranked team, and it's going to be the women's field hockey team. And this team had really just a magical season all year. They had 2 huge overtime wins in conference play against Ryder and Fairfield earlier this year. They had huge contributions from Angie King along the whole year. She was a leader in the nation in defensive saves. Becca Main took home MAC Coach of the Year. Megan Osanich also was named to the first team along with Megan McCullough. The team, however, fell short in the MAC championship game to Fairfield, suffering a tough loss to end their season. And moving along to my 2nd ranked team, it's going to be the women's rugby team. And this team really sort of took off after suffering a tough loss to Army earlier on in the year. They also suffered a tough loss to Central Washington University, but really rolled on from there. It ended its regular season play by defeating Westchester University 100-10. That's absolutely incredible. They're going to play Westchester in the first round of the NCVWRA quarterfinals, and that's going to be this upcoming Saturday. Really a tremendous season for them. Alona Marr, a sophomore transfer, had an incredible year along with Maggie Miles for the Bobcats. Coach Becky Carlson has to be happy with her squad heading into the playoffs. And now for my 1st ranked team, it's going to be the women's cross country team. And really, this team was just incredible in the MAC championship. They defeated Iona, 10-time defending champion. Iona, a perennial powerhouse across the country, and they just took it to them. They had 4 players named to the All-MAC team, including Neve Ash, Emily Wolf, Tracy Campbell, and Kaylee Roberts. They're going to head into the 2015 NCAA Regionals, looking to take home more trophies there. It's going to be up on Boston University Friday, November 13th. And it was also their first ever MAC championship as Quinnipiac moved over to the MAC 3 years ago. And well, there you have it. My top 5 teams from the fall semester. Back to you guys at the desk.
All right, Sarah, it's been an exciting season for all of the fall sports teams. Let's take a look at the top moments. Now, I know you're a Spanish minor, so you take uno, tres, y cinco, and I'll take dos y cuatro. Vale?
Perfecto. Coming in at number 5, we've got rugby. Emily Roscoff with her 13th try of the season. She led this team to a 2012 win against Rugby. It was a successful season for the rugby team here.
Coming in at number 4, we saw this earlier. Field hockey versus Ryder in the MAC semifinals. Savannah Riley with a beautiful score in the last seconds of that game. Quinnipiac would go on to win 3-2 and advance to the MAC championships.
At number 3, we've got some more field hockey. This is the last game of the regular season. Dana Barlow will score in overtime against Fairfield to make Quinnipiac co-conference champions. They win this game 5-4 in overtime.
At number 2, Sierra, men's soccer versus Yale. Ryan Scheiderman with an assist from Rashawn Daly. Yale would go on to win this one 3-2, but a beautiful goal there for Quinnipiac.
And here it is, your top play of the fall season. It is women's soccer, Nadia Gill's goal in double overtime to put them to win 3-2 against Monmouth.
So Sierra, I guess that's adios for the fall season, right?
There it is.
So that's the end of the fall season here at Quinnipiac.
And with basketball and hockey starting up, you can be sure Sports Paws will have you covered.
Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30 Sports for all the latest updates.
And check out all of our content online at q30television.com.
For our entire crew, producers, and Sierra Goodwill, I'm Carolyn Fales. Catch Sports Paws back here next week, same time, same place. Have a good night.